Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we'll take a look at the 1995 Honda Integra SiR-G, the second in command when it comes to the Integra range. Of course, the Type R sits at the top of the pile, and then there's these ones, the SiR-Gs, that I can't remember the statistics for, but basically it's... if you want the sporty Integra, but not the Type R, this is what you got, at least when it came to the Honda ones. This is our first Honda Integra. We've had an Acura Integra go around with the weird front lights. This one is the Japanese spec one, which has the normal bar lights. It also comes in one of the best colours I've seen in this game so far. This is Deep Current Pearl, I think it is. Looks absolutely exquisite on this car, so I knew, as soon as I saw this colour, I bought it, because I knew it was going to have to be this colour that went on the series. There is a racing modification available for this. The SiR-Gs are not running racing modification, the Type Rs are going to. Also, this one is naturally aspirated tune. So front engine, front wheel drive, 251 horsepower, which isn't a lot really. 1,030 kilos. We'll see how it gets along. I'm not expecting fireworks here. It is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Mainz Lancer Evolution 5, a 28.209. The Integra unlikely to beat that. The Integra, with its power output, I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think it would do well to get into the gaggle of sort of performance saloons that we've got. Stuff like the Accords, the Vectras, I said performance, but you know what I mean. Alfa Romeo 166 Twin Spark. In that direction, it'll do well to get into. If not, maybe it can look further down. Low 32s could be possible from this, depending on how it handles. Obviously, we've seen low-powered front-wheel drive cars do great in the past. Stuff like the Fiat Punto GT is some of the fastest front-wheel drive cars we've had. But for whatever reason, these the Japanese, or sorry, the normal-sized hatchbacks and front-wheel drive coupes need a lot more power to get that far up there. 32.232. Well, as like I mentioned, stuff like the Punto, it is just quick for no good reason. You know, there's another one as well I'm thinking of up there. I can't quite remember it. But everything else, sort of, in the 31s, low 31s, everything has about 300 horsepower, so this would be quite down on that. Maybe Peugeot 306, 31.711. That was sort of the opposite of this, where that had a lot of power, it's just a bit tricky to drive. But we'll see. Currently it's slower than the Daihatsu Terios Kid, which obviously is not a sectional leaderboard you particularly want to be in. Also, it's a sectional leaderboard that I'm really having to... I need a solution to this leaderboard. I usually have it open on another screen just so I can sort of look back and forth and eyeball where the car's going to go into, but the leaderboard's really starting to stack up now, 32.013. So it's getting a lot more difficult to see where certain cars fall into place as I'm driving them. So, for example, this Integra, if it's going into the low 32s, I can't actually see the low 32s at the moment. I can see 71st place, the Sylvia Q's, which was a 31.979. So hopefully we can beat that, because that would be nice. We'll get a bit of a run up on this final lap, see what the Integra can do. I hope it does well. Although again, do remember there is obviously Type Rs and stuff to go around here, so if this one doesn't do well, then there's always the Type Rs, and there's always the Acura versions as well. The Acura Integra, in case you're wondering, got a 30.703, and there are sort of equivalent to SiR. In fact, there's even worse than SiRs. There's LSs and GSs when it comes to the Integra, so if this one isn't quick, then those sort of more base model Acuras really need to start worrying. 31.876. That's, to be honest with you, with the power, that's not bad, really. It's not brilliant, but it's also not bad. More of the front-wheel drive stuff we've had go around so far has been sort of in the 300 horsepower range, so for this to come along with 253. It's not an awful lot of power, really, and also, as we mentioned, it is a bigger car than something like, say, a Civic, which would do alright. Yeah, I don't even think there's that much more time in that, really. 31.876 will put it into 71st place. It is slightly quicker than the Nissan Silvia Qs, Mazda Unos Roadster, Terios Kid. Quicker than a CRX, which, to be fair, the CRX was roughly the same power, I think. Quicker than the Polo. One of the slower front-wheel drive cars we've had, but as I mentioned, it is one of the least powerful we've had so far. Or the power-to-weight ratio on this, at the very least, is going to be a little bit down compared to those, so there you go. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching, and join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.